In our last masterclass, we did some incredible and important work together. We took on the most feared and misunderstood nutrient in the world of diabetes, carbohydrates, and we systematically demystified it. You learned the fundamental difference between the fast-burning newspaper carbs that leave you drained and the slow-burning, seasoned log carbs that provide steady, reliable energy for hours. You now have the plate method as your guide, your visual blueprint for every meal. You've learned how to manage that crucial carbohydrate corner of your plate. But a satisfying meal isn't just one component, just as a beautiful symphony isn't just one instrument. A solo flute is lovely, but it doesn't have the power and richness of a full orchestra. So today, we must ask the question, what about the other 75% of your plate? Is the rest of your plate just filling space, or does it play an equally critical, and perhaps even more powerful, role in the overall performance of your meal? Welcome back to Senior Health Lab. Today, we're going to discover that what you put in your protein corner and the healthy fats you add to your meal are the secret to unlocking the full potential of your smart carbs. They are the brakes for your blood sugar and the armor for your heart. Now, when I say brakes for your blood sugar, what does that really mean in a scientific sense? It means that these nutrients, protein and fat, physically slow down how quickly your stomach empties its contents into your small intestine, where sugar is absorbed. They literally put the brakes on the speed of digestion, preventing a sudden flood of sugar from overwhelming your system and giving your body a chance to respond gracefully. This simple mechanism is the key to preventing those sharp, jarring post-meal glucose spikes and creating a much gentler, more stable blood sugar curve. And when I say armor for your heart, I mean that choosing the right kinds of protein and fat is one of the most proactive things you can do to manage cardiovascular risk, which we know is the #1 health concern for people living with diabetes. It's about being on the offense, not just defense. The right choices can actively help lower your bad LDL cholesterol, reduce the chronic inflammation that can damage blood vessels, and help keep your arteries flexible and healthy. They are your protective shield, standing guard over your most vital organ. Let's see how this plays out in a real-life scenario. Let's check back in with our friend Richard. He has been diligently applying what he learned about carbohydrates from our last session. He swapped his sugary cornflakes for slow-cooked rolled oats, and he truly felt better. That 10 a.m. energy crash he used to get every single day, the one that left him feeling foggy and irritable, was gone, but he noticed something curious. On the days he was in a hurry and just ate the oatmeal plain with a little water, he felt pretty good, but by 11:30 a.m., he was starting to feel that familiar, distracting, gnawing hunger again. He was making it to lunch, but just barely. One morning, his wife Susan was preparing her own breakfast and adding some chopped walnuts and a big dollop of plain Greek yogurt to her bowl of oatmeal. "Why don't you try some of this in yours?" she suggested. Richard, being a good student of the lab, thought to himself, well, the plate method says I need protein and fat. I know the nuts have healthy fat and the yogurt has protein. Let's see what happens. He stirred them into his oatmeal. The result, he told us later, was a complete revelation. That day, he worked in his garden all morning, lifting bags of soil and planting new flowers, and he didn't even think about food until well past noon. He had steady, unshakable energy. And for the first time, he felt truly and deeply satisfied from his breakfast. He wasn't just not hungry. He felt fundamentally more nourished and resilient, like his body had everything it truly needed to thrive. Richard had accidentally stumbled upon the profound, synergistic principle we're going to explore today, the incredible power of a complete, balanced plate. The oatmeal was the high-quality fuel, the seasoned log for the fire, but the protein and fat from the yogurt and walnuts were the essential components that regulated how that fuel was burned, making it last for hours. They were the key that unlocked the oatmeal's full potential. In this deep dive, we will explore the crucial and often misunderstood roles of protein and healthy fats. We will learn the science of how they create that traffic calming effect on your blood sugar that Richard experienced. We'll build a definitive best bets list, identifying the absolute best sources of each to protect your heart, a critical concern for anyone living with diabetes. It's time to complete the picture and learn how to build the perfect diabetic plate. Welcome back to the lab. In our last masterclass, we learned how to choose the right fuel, our smart carbs. Now we're going to learn how to install the braking system and the anchor for our ship. That is the vital job of protein. If carbohydrates are the gasoline for your body's engine, think of protein as both the anchor that keeps you steady and the brakes that ensure a smooth, controlled ride. It's the component that keeps your blood sugar from sailing away too quickly after a meal. It also provides the deep, satisfying feeling that tells your brain the meal is complete and you are nourished. Let's explore the science of this anchor. So how does protein perform this magic? It works in three incredible synergistic ways that all support each other. First, as we mentioned, it physically slows down digestion. Protein molecules are very large and complex, much more so than carbohydrates. This means they require more work from your digestive system. When you eat protein alongside carbohydrates, it significantly slows down gastric emptying, the rate at which food leaves your stomach. To use an analogy, imagine your stomach is a funnel. If you pour simple carbs alone, like juice, it's like pouring water through the funnel whoosh. It passes through almost instantly, flooding your system. When you add protein, it's like turning that water into a thick, slow-moving gravy. It takes hours for that gravy to pass through the funnel. This slow, controlled release of nutrients is exactly what we want. It prevents any sudden dumping of sugar into the bloodstream and gives your pancreas plenty of time to produce a gentle, measured insulin response. This is what doctors call improving your postprandial glucose response, which is just a fancy way of saying your blood sugar behaves much better and stays much more stable after a meal. Second, protein has a powerful hormonal effect on satiety, which is the feeling of fullness and satisfaction. When protein reaches your gut, it's like it presses a special button. This button sends out a series of text messages to your brain via gut hormones with names like peptide YY and GLP-1. The message essentially reads, "Mission accomplished. High-quality, substantial fuel has arrived. You can now power down the hunger signals." It is one of your body's most powerful off switches for appetite. This is why a breakfast high in protein, like Richard's upgraded oatmeal, can keep you feeling full and satisfied all the way until lunch, preventing those mid-morning cravings for unhealthy snacks that can derail your day. And third, and this is especially critical for our audience, protein is non-negotiable for fighting age-related muscle loss. As we get older, we all face sarcopenia. This is the natural process where we lose our precious muscle mass, our sugar sponges that help soak up glucose from the blood. Protein is the raw material, the essential building blocks your body uses to repair and rebuild that muscle tissue after you use it. Let's think about Susan. She loves gardening, but she used to feel weak and tired after just an hour. Her doctor explained that maintaining muscle is a use it or lose it situation. And protein is the essential repair material for that use. By making a conscious effort to include a good source of lean protein with every meal, she wasn't just managing her blood sugar. She was giving her body the building blocks to repair the very muscles she used while gardening. A few months later, she found she could work in her garden for longer and felt significantly stronger when lifting bags of soil. That is the power of protein that goes far beyond the plate. Okay, so we know we need protein. But just like with carbs, the type of protein we choose matters immensely, especially since heart health is a top priority for anyone with diabetes. Here are your best bets for the protein corner of your plate, the choices that give you the most health benefits. Plant-based powerhouses. These are my #1 recommendation, what I call the double-duty champions. I'm talking about beans, lentils, chickpeas, and tofu. Why are they number one? Because they provide both high-quality protein and high-fiber, low-glycemic carbohydrates all in one perfect package. They are a double win for blood sugar control and are packed with heart-healthy minerals like magnesium and potassium. This is why a simple 3-bean chili isn't just a delicious budget-friendly meal. It's one of the most perfectly engineered diabetic-friendly meals you can possibly eat. Heart-healthy fatty fish. Your goal should be at least 2 servings of fish per week, especially fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, trout, and sardines. Not only are they an excellent source of lean protein, but they are the best source of those incredibly important anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. Diabetes can create a state of chronic inflammation in the body, which is damaging to our blood vessels. Think of omega-3 South as a team of firefighters. These special fats are actively working to cool down that inflammation and protect your heart and brain. A serving is about the size of the palm of your hand, a simple visual guide. 3. Lean poultry. Skinless chicken and turkey breast are fantastic sources of high-quality protein with very little saturated fat. The key here, as we learned in our Eating Out guide, is the cooking method. Baking, grilling, roasting, or poaching are all excellent. We just want to avoid deep frying. Low-fat dairy, plain Greek yogurt, and low-sodium cottage cheese are excellent protein sources. They provide the double benefit of giving you that muscle-building protein while also supplying a great deal of calcium, which works with magnesium and potassium to support not just your bones, but also healthy blood pressure. Finally, to protect our hearts, both the DASH and the American Diabetes Association guidelines are very clear that we should limit certain types of protein. Notice the word is limit, not eliminate. The first group is processed meats. Let's be very clear about what these are: bacon, sausage, hot dogs, salami, and most packaged deli meats. They are almost always preserved with nitrates and a very large amount of sodium, both of which are linked to poor cardiovascular outcomes. The second group is fatty cuts of red meat. A small portion of very lean red meat, like a sirloin or flank steak, can be part of a healthy diet occasionally. The issue is large portions of fatty, marbled cuts like a big ribeye steak or a high-fat ground beef. These are very high in saturated fat, which can raise your bad LDL cholesterol and may worsen insulin resistance over time. If you love red meat, think of it as a treat to be savored. Keep the portion size to about the size of a deck of cards. Choose the leanest cut you can find, and enjoy it once in a while, not as a daily staple. Now for our final macronutrient, and perhaps the most misunderstood of all: fat. For those of us who grew up in the 1980s and 90s, the message we heard from doctors' magazines and television was loud and clear: fat is the enemy. It was the dietary villain that was blamed for everything from weight gain to heart disease. We lived through the low-fat and fat-free craze, a time when our grocery store aisles were flooded with products that proudly proclaimed their lack of fat. We diligently bought fat-free cookies, fat-free salad dressings, and fat-free snacks, not realizing at the time that food manufacturers were often just replacing that fat with heaps of sugar and refined carbohydrates to make the products taste good. It's time to update our thinking based on what decades of better science has taught us. The new message is crystal clear: the type of fat you eat is infinitely more important than the amount. Let's start with our heroes. These are the fats that heal, that protect, that nourish. They are primarily the unsaturated fats, and they are essential for your health. First up, we have monounsaturated fats. Think of these as the Mediterranean secret. These are the superstar fats found in abundance in avocados, olive oil, almonds, peanuts, and other nuts. They are powerfully anti-inflammatory and have been shown to help lower bad LDL cholesterol and raise good HDL cholesterol. This is the fat that makes a creamy slice of avocado on toast or a drizzle of good olive oil over a salad so incredibly satisfying. It sends strong satiety signals to your brain, telling you that you are full and nourished. Next, we have the polyunsaturated fats. This important group includes the famous omega-3 south, found in fatty fish, flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. They are critical for brain health and are superstars at fighting inflammation. This group also includes omega-6 south, found in other seeds and vegetable oils. The goal is a healthy balance. The modern American diet tends to have an excessive omega-6 south from processed foods and not nearly enough omega-3 south. Our goal is to reduce processed vegetable oils and dramatically increase our intake of omega-3 south from fish, flax, and walnuts to restore that healthy, anti-inflammatory balance in the body. Now let's talk about the other side of the coin. Not all fats are created equal, and some do need to be managed carefully. First, we have saturated fats. A high intake of saturated fat found primarily in fatty red meat, butter, cream, and full-fat cheese can raise your bad LDL cholesterol levels, which is a risk factor for heart disease. The key here is to limit, not eliminate. A little bit of butter on your toast isn't the end of the world. Let's look at a story of a smart swap. David, a member of our community, told us he loved his buttered toast in the morning. A little bit is fine. But his new upgraded health habit is this. Most days, he now mashes half a ripe avocado and spreads that on his whole wheat toast with a pinch of salt and pepper. He's making a brilliant swap, replacing the saturated fat with a heart-healthy monounsaturated fat that's also packed with fiber and potassium. Finally, we come to the one true villain of the fat world, artificial trans fat. This is the one type of fat you should aim to avoid completely, with zero exceptions. It's a factory-made fat created through a process called hydrogenation, and it's found in things made with partially hydrogenated oils. Think some margarines, vegetable shortening, and many packaged snacks, fried foods, and baked goods. It is intensely inflammatory and toxic to your cardiovascular system. It raises bad cholesterol and simultaneously lowers your good cholesterol, a dangerous double whammy. Your mission is to become a detective for the words partially hydrogenated oil on any ingredients list and avoid it at all costs. The story of fat is not a story of fear, it's a story of choice. It's about choosing the healing fats from avocados, nuts, seeds, and fish, while consciously limiting the harmful ones. This knowledge puts you back in the driver's seat of your heart health. So after our deep dives into the worlds of carbohydrates, protein, and fat, it is time for the grand finale. It's time to assemble our dream team on one plate. This is the moment where all our theory, all our science becomes a delicious, life-giving reality that you can create in your own kitchen tonight. First, the foundation, the most important part that takes up a full half of our plate, our non-starchy vegetables. Today, we have some beautiful roasted broccoli and a simple green salad. This is where we get our fiber, our vitamins, and our essential minerals. This is the colorful, nutrient-dense base of our meal. Next, we move to our first quadrant. Here, in our protein corner, we place a beautiful palm-sized piece of grilled salmon. This is not only our satiety superstar that will keep us full for hours, but it's also our source of healing, anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids, acting as that protective armor for our heart. And in our final quadrant, the last piece of the puzzle, we place our smart carb. Here is our fist-sized portion of fluffy quinoa. This is our slow-burning, seasoned log, our high-quality energy source that will fuel our brain and body without causing a disruptive spike in blood sugar. And for the final touch, our salad is tossed with a delicious vinaigrette made with heart-healthy extra virgin olive oil, our source of healing monounsaturated fats. Now look at this plate. It's not just a collection of healthy ingredients. It's an orchestra, and each component is playing a vital part in a beautiful symphony of blood sugar control. The fiber from the quinoa and the broccoli is like the rhythm section, the steady drumbeat, laying down a slow, consistent tempo for digestion. The protein from the salmon is like the rich harmony section, adding depth and satiety that makes the piece feel complete and satisfying. And the healthy fats from the salmon and the olive oil are like the beautiful, soaring melody, slowing the tempo of the whole piece and adding richness and flavor. And you, with your knowledge, are the conductor of this orchestra, bringing all the pieces together in perfect harmony. This is the final piece of the puzzle for Richard. He now understands why adding those walnuts, a healthy fat and protein, to his oatmeal makes him feel full for hours longer. He understands why adding avocado, a healthy fat, to his whole wheat toast creates a more stable, long-lasting energy source. He's no longer just managing carbs. He's building a complete, high-performance meal every single time. You now have the complete blueprint for a perfect plate. You know how to choose your fuel, smart carbs, and you now know how to add the brakes and the armor, lean protein and healthy fats. You are fully equipped to build delicious plates that will stabilize your blood sugar, fill you with lasting energy, and protect your heart for years to come. But knowing what a perfect plate looks like is one thing. Knowing how to fill your kitchen with the right ingredients is the next crucial step. In our next masterclass, we're taking all of this knowledge from the lab and putting it into action with the ultimate diabetic-friendly grocery haul. We'll walk the aisles together and show you exactly what to look for. Now it's your turn to be the chef. Thinking about our power pairing rule and the plate method, what is your favorite combination of a lean protein or a healthy fat that makes your meals more satisfying? Let's share some delicious balanced ideas in the comments. And as always, please subscribe to Senior Health Lab. Stay curious and stay healthy.